make you mentally stronger and give you improved confidence. In this video, their prime example, their favorite example of starting strength is Chase Lindley. And it's interesting because, well, I'll just play a clip and we'll see what's up with Chase Lindley now.
When you have a kid that's massively introverted and you put them through that process, they tend to start building that confidence and they're able to talk to people more.
Oh, God, yes. I mean, we've seen this. I mean, Chase, when Chase was a little kid, when he was in here, when he was 12, little blonde-haired kid, couldn't hardly talk, shy, good little kid. And, over the course of this process being applied to him, everybody has noticed that what you've got now is a completely changed personality, the fine young man.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Chase Lindley now. Wow. Clearly, Chase Lindley has, as a result of applying this process, is now suffering rapid onset gender dysphoria. It looks like Mark Ripito has been doing too many elbow drops into Chase Lindley's butt cheeks to address his sciatica. And now this is the effect, and this is what you can expect to achieve by starting strength.
That's so funny.
Yeah. If you want to end up like this, then join Starting Strength. If you want a better, if you don't want to end up like this, then do NoFap. Hello, gamers.
Well, there you go. Welcome to the. That's a way to start it. That's a way to start it.
That's a way to start,
isn't it? And Chase, do you want to address this? Do you have gender dysphoria?
I do not, man. I know I'm a male. I've always been a male, and I will die a male. So
he checks every morning.
Yeah, exactly.
He wakes up. He runs to the mirror. Is it still there?
I wake up with a boner. Yeah, I realize I'm a male. So to give a context like that, I was literally trying to show off my George, which I'm still wearing George. George is a fashion statement that I'm trying to revolutionize and kind of bring back from the dead. But apparently I have gender dysmorphia now. So
are you wearing them with jamdals?
Hey, I just sent that video to Nick. He responded, that is pretty funny. Chase is suspect for sure.
That's funny.
That is funny. Anyway, welcome everyone to the weekly Q&A and live chat. The whole crew's here again this week. It's two weeks in a row. From Wichita Falls, Rusty Holcomb. G'day, Rusty.
Hey, up.
Houston, Texas, we have Chase Lindley and Phoebe.
Howdy.
And from Japan, Alex Koiseri. G'day, Alex.
How's it going? The new home of Starting Strength. The second Wichita Falls Athletic Club will be open in Japan.
We'll have to get some of those sumo wrestlers. Some of those look like they could be starting strength coaches.
Chase running around.
I don't want to know what that looks like. Alex was fondling kangaroos during the week, so how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, so apparently zoos in Japan, it's like pretty Wild West. The animals just kind of go wherever they want. They tend to stick to pretty specific areas, but you can just go up and pet them. You can go up and feed them, whatever the hell you want. So like we had monkeys crawling all over our shoulders. I saw a kangaroo for the first time. They are very aggressive. But yeah, it was pretty cool. The only animal they didn't let you go up. The only animal they didn't let you go up and touch was the hippopotamus, which was disappointing. I was hoping to see someone just get their arm just clamped off.
Taken off,
They just have a hippopotamus running around?
That's the only one that's in its cage. So everything else, you can get within like arm's reach of, basically.
Do they have like
yeah.
lions and big cats and stuff?
No, only prey animals. I would say the coolest one was probably the capybara. I saw one of those for the first time.
It's a
Fed that.
capybara.
Wow. It's like the beaver thing.
Yeah, it's really weird. It acts like a dog, but looks like this giant weird beaver. But otherwise, yeah, it was super cool. We got to feed some monkeys. They try to rip your mask off. So if you're wearing a mask around the monkeys, they will get on your shoulder and try to pull it off of your face.
Well, it's good to see there's Republicans
awesome.
out in Japan as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so the monkeys are on the COVID, the anti-mask team. They're the anti-maskers.
Super spreaders. All right, well, let's rip into some videos. We've got Clay from Alaska up first. This is one of Rusty's mates, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a nice little setup.
He was in the
there.
gym a couple of weeks ago visiting. He's a strong guy.
Strong guy. Is this video in Alaska or is this in...
He's in Alaska right now.
Has to be. It's so damn quiet.
I've got no sound on, actually. Oh, just a one rep.
Yeah,
one rep.
let's look at it again. Looked pretty solid to me. I think he could get his upper back in a little more extension, but it's not slowing him down at all.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
seems
I
to be
really like
starting
this.
a little bit forward.
Yeah, he's a little bit forward to midfoot.
You know, I'll see that with heavier pulls. They'll start it forward, and then in the pulling the slack out of the bar phase, it'll return to midfoot, and then they'll go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, this is a solid lift.
As a strong man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
What is
very
that?
strong guy.
315, 365?
Kilos. Do you think Clay's got any gender dysmorphia? Just
Yeah. he was a woman a year ago.
well, he just broke the world record. So.
The power of CRT. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for the video, Clay.
Yeah, Clay, that's a solid lift, man.
Yeah, good work, man.
Thanks, man.
David Duford. It's another week where I haven't vetted any of these videos, so this looks like it's just some CCTV footage.
I love the grunting.
Yeah, it's great.
Sounds like me after a night of drinking in Taco Bell.
I think you need to get a bit more fibre in your diet, Rusty. That's
It's just Taco Bell. It's got nothing to do with lack of fiber.
David, man, for the first, let's go over your grip. This is going to be an easy fix. So instead of you adjusting and letting the wrist bend as you take the bar out, kind of crank up the elbows and then plant the web of your hand deep into the bar and then roll the bar by letting your elbows go through underneath. That's going to place your wrist in a better position and the bones of the forearm underneath the bar. Then as you take this out, kind of do this a little bit quicker, right? Throw the hips, exaggerate them, touch the wall in front of you, and just press through that sticking point. Try to get it as close as you can to your nose. They look relatively close. The big thing here is probably going to be the wrist kind of kicking it out in front. Another way to kind of help you too is if you have a belt, grab a belt. Belts help tremendously on the press.
Yeah, his elbow position is also behind the bar. So whenever you're working on your wrist position, you need to get your elbows slightly ahead of that bar so your forearm's completely vertical. There's going to be a little bit of a tilt to it, obviously, because your elbow's ahead of the bar. But with the straight wrist, elbows forward, you're going to get better bounce. And also you need to widen your stance. That will help you get your hips to punch a little bit harder.
When's the last time you guys have tried pressing without a belt? I'm having to do it now. It's terrible.
Oh, yeah. And after my second or third warm-up, I'm wearing a belt. So,
Yeah.
You should use some SCSI cables or something from your computer, Alex.
Well, the only one that they have here locally are the Velcro ones, and I'm considering it. I'm like, I have to pay like $300 to get a belt here from the United States.
Yep.
I mean, could you not just wear it on the plane on the way over?
That would have been a good idea. Just go through security.
Actually, that's a really good idea. Yeah.
I already get my bags pulled anyways, so at this point, I might as well.
A few comments. Jeff Riggins, props to my Republican Japan monkeys. Okay.
There you go. They're waiting for you, man. Nagasaki Biopark.
Stephen Lusaint, thanks for the live stream. No worries, Stephen. We've actually got your bench press video coming up, so look out for that. Benny B, how do I submit a form check for a video? Just you can submit it through the Starting Strength app, or you can email me at the Strength Club email address, and we'll get it on there too. And Jimmy also answered that one. Okay, let's roll along. We've got our old friend El Noir, who was having some issues with her low bar squat, and she actually moved to a high bar squat and then a front squat because she thinks her back is collapsing under the low bar squat. So it'll be interesting to see what you guys have got to say about that.
How new are these guys?
Sorry?
How new are these lifts?
Oh, I think these are fairly recent.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, it's been a few weeks, so hopefully that shoulder pain would have resolved by now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the biggest thing I'm seeing is her knees. Her knees are kind of just going straight forward, and she needs to be getting them out harder. Getting them out and stopping them.
So is this high bar here? It's kind of hard to see.
No, this is low. This is low bar.
I think it's implied that she's trying low bar again.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So if El Noir, if you're having a hard time determining where to put it, you're gonna have to trace your bone here, the spine and the scapula out laterally, and then work it back in. And you're just gonna have to try to shove the bar underneath that little bony ridge.
I don't think she's having a hard time figuring out where to put it. She's been having shoulder issues, shoulder pain, so she had to go high bar, or low back pain, and so she went to high bar, and then she went to front squats for a little bit.
Yeah, high bar and then front squats as well.
Yeah, so I think she's just trying to figure out
the thumbs around the bar.
No, she probably could try that. That would get her elbows down a little bit. Yeah.
Just get up on that mic, Chase.
If anything, let's try this. So, if you're having shoulder pain on your warm-ups, go out wide with it, and then kind of do the Paul Horn stretch. It's kind of hard because I don't know, what pain you're feeling. If it's anterior, posterior, or laterally. If y'all guys know, let me know.
If I remember correctly, it was just general shoulder pain. I think it was just kind of all over the place. I don't think it was a specific.
I'm fairly certain because she's cranking her elbows so hard to hold that bar there. That's probably what's causing it.
Yeah.
If you can trust that that bar ain't going to slide off your back, get your elbows down a little bit, and also just grab the bar. Don't do the thumb over. Go ahead and put your thumb under the bar. That might help you also get your elbows down a little bit more, clean up some of that pain. Aside from the shoulders, knees out, that's going to be another big thing in getting your hips back a little bit more. I would be using a belt. Is she wearing a belt? No. Yeah, if you're having some back pain, then I would also get a belt and use that.
She's not saying she has any back pain. She's just saying she feels like her back is collapsing. And so she felt like her lower back's too weak.
On one of the reps, she was kind of doing the good morning and stuff. That's due to what Rusty was saying about the elbows, cranking the way up. You're going to have to think about driving both the chest and the hips as you ascend. And then as you're ascending, pulling the bar down your back with your fingertips.
Yep.
Yeah. And then a clear point, I always like to make sure that, it's a slight pull. Okay, if you were getting to the point where you're starting to crank, and then what you'll see is like the elbows actually go too far under, especially that's more prone when you have the thumbs around grip. I've noticed that can cause a lot of shoulder pain too. So just it's a slight pull. I don't know if you guys have experienced that same sensation, but I've noticed it a lot on bigger guys. Like if a giant guy goes for it, his elbows will just kind of go straight under it, like with a powerlifting squat.
She's saying she had some tricep and elbow pain because she can't get her elbows down. She's in the comments.
She's having lateral or your elbow out here,
Mm-hmm.
if that's kind of bugging you, yeah, she's definitely cranking her elbows as she's coming up.
Yeah, Elle, try grabbing the bar with, just go ahead and grab it with a fist and get your elbows down a little bit and see if that relieves some of that pain. You might just have to use that kind of grip for low bar to make it successful.
Do you want to take a look at a high bar squat? Would
Sure.
that help?
Sure.
Even with the high bar squat, L, you're gonna want to get your knees out a little bit more. It looks like your stance is kind of narrow, and you're not pushing your knees out. Your toe angle isn't aggressive enough. Get your toes out harder and push your knees out. You're also doing the same thing with your low bar squat. That will open your hips up a little bit and allow you to get down there a little bit better.
Yeah, I'd just widen the stance entirely. I would move
Yeah.
that out maybe 1 inch on each side and then just
Yeah.
keep reevaluating from there. With the high bar, especially, you just want to think about sending everything straight down. Your butt goes straight down, the bar goes straight down. Think about railing it on kind of this vertical path.
Yep. That and eye position helps a lot too. If you're gonna high bar, you're gonna have to look almost straight ahead.
Yeah. I mean, do you think she can low bar squat okay? Given what you said.
I think she can.
She's just
Yeah.
go ahead.
She's just cranking her elbows really hard. So if she grabs the bar and gets her elbows down, she might feel like that bar is a little more secure on her low bar position. Because whenever they crank that hard, they're afraid that bar is going to start sliding off their back.
Yep.
So if she grabs the bar, actually grabs it, and then gets her elbows down a little bit, that might give her another point of security. So she won't feel like it's going to fly off her back.
One thing, L, is that wearing a shirt is probably going to be really helpful for your low bar, so you can have that added friction. I've been in like some CrossFit gym scenarios where people are either shirtless or in sports bras, and then like a sweaty low bar position does not feel great. So unless you have really defined rear delts, so put on a thick cotton shirt, and it will likely feel like it's going to stick a lot better.
Yep. It's the one area where more friction is necessary.
Exactly.
You know what I'm talking about.
Your mind is in the gutter tonight, dude.
It's always in the gutter. You just noticed?
Well, it's a little bit more than usual.
Oh, okay.
That's like your third sex joke.
Oh, that's about my average. All right, thanks, Elle. Hopefully you can send us another video next week, and we'll get that on. I don't know how to pronounce this. EULERCNS. Ulcrinus. Ooh, I'm going to see a press here.
I like that start position. You're pushing your head through a little bit too hard, man. You're gonna strain something eventually. Like trying to shove your head through like that. Just get your head nice and tall. That'll help that lockout position a little bit more.
I'd like to see more of a shrug at the top, and I think the
Yeah.
head forward is limiting that shrug. So it's
Yep.
just like if your lockout position should feel stable and strong, like you can just kind of hang out there for a little bit. Not that you want to, but like you can. If it doesn't feel like it's fully locked out at the top, pull your head back a little bit. Think about having like a long neck, like standing tall, like Rusty was saying, and then you should probably get some more clearance for the shrug. But it should feel like it's stacked on top of your shoulders.
What I like to tell some clients that keep continuously shoving their head through too hard is try and make your shoulders touch right behind your ears. That'll get your head up a little bit harder. That'll give you a little bit of a contact cue to let you know, okay, this is the right position for my head.
Okay. Ulcrinus. There you go, buddy. Up next, we've got Frenchy. We had him on last week, I think. Oh, yeah, the guy lifting in the
Ancient
Acropolis.
theater.
Yeah. Somewhere in Australia.
So Frenchy, on the way up, you're going to have to keep your knees over your toes. You're kind of shifting back a little bit too much, and you're sending your ass back rather than straight up. Your knee angle almost seems like you're shoving your knees out a little bit too much. Don't think about shoving out your knees. You're fine with your depth in that sense. Let them go forward, and I think you're going to be able to hit depth a little bit easier.
Yeah, nailed it. I think the knees were out a little bit too much. And I've noticed the knees out, like well past the foot crowd, they will tend to do the hips go backwards and not up thing. And you'll notice like a little bit more of the weight shift onto your heel. But it's okay if the weight feels like it's on the ball of your foot almost, because you'll have to recalibrate it a little bit. But send the back of your belt, send your waistband up, and then don't push it backwards in space.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Jeez, we're ripping through
I'm
these
starting
today.
to notice a lot of people don't realize what you mean when you tell them knees out or when they read it. They don't realize that you want them to go over their toes, and so they're thinking as far as they can push their knees out, they're just going to push their knees out that far.
It's also, if you hear the cue constantly, knees out, knees
Yeah.
out, knees out.
They're
They
going to
just,
keep doing that.
but in reality, they need the whole entire thigh or the femur to actually go lateral.
Yeah, like Travis, remember he started doing that.
Okay. Thanks, Frenchy. Up next, P. Keen. Pretty keen.
That's a deep rack. That is a really big rack.
Nice.
I knew that was coming. You made one for Mick now, Rusty.
You know, as soon as he said that, I was like, it's too obvious. It's just such low hanging fruit. Let someone else take that one.
All right, Phoebe, what do you got?
I'm sorry, I was laughing. I wasn't looking.
You said that.
Do you want to go back to the start? Go back to the start. There we go.
Like that other angle. Looks like his knees aren't coming forward enough from here, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Just get up on that
All
mic,
right, so
Phoebe.
watch his shin.
Oh, I was saying, looked like his knees weren't going enough forward from here, but I was waiting for that other angle.
So they look like they're forward enough,
Yeah,
but what do
he's
you
got
notice
different
about
kind of-
other things? Right. So
I
what
guess
about his
question,
depth? What about
Let me get there.
gaze, stance, hips, all that stuff?
He's bringing his chin up, so I don't know where in the world he'd be looking, because he's doing one of those like this. The bottom, he needs to stick his gaze somewhere and keep it there.
I think
thought
his
I'd
gaze
lean
is.
over a little bit more. Even.
I think his gaze is his head's that's shifting. I think his gaze is staying in one spot. His big problem is he's not getting his knees out hard enough. I think that if he brings his toes are good, bring his heels in a little bit, he can shove his knees out harder, and that'll give him a little bit better position in the bottom. Because if you notice, they're caving in whenever he descends.
Hot take here. I don't think it's the stance. I think this is a squat that's built entirely around not being able to extend his back. He does not know how to. So the only way that he can get down is just by kind of lurching there, and he's still trying to make that table with the upper back. I think if he was able to push his stomach through, he'd be fine on most of these things.
Yeah, I think his stance is wide, man. I mean,
It's definitely wide for sure, but it would look a lot better if he could do the back. I think it's like if I had to triage this, I would go fix the back first, and then I think the rest would fall in place.
Yeah, well, with the stance that wide, I don't think he can get his knees out and keep them out in the bottom, even if he had a nicely extended back. So control your back, get your heels in a little bit more, get your knees out a little bit more, and you should be a little more stable.
I would take off some weight too, because I'm thinking that he probably can set his low back, but then now this weight has now surpassed that, and he's strapping on that belt for dear life, and just getting wider with his stance makes him feel like he's hitting depth and setting his back, but in reality, it's not.
Yep. All right, P. Keen. Not quite consensus there, but anyway, that's plenty of stuff to work with. Ralky. Read this guy on last week as well.
I have high hopes for this.
Is it because of his name or just the...
I don't know. I'm just optimistic. I'm rarely optimistic when we start these videos. Damn.
I am not optimistic about this at all.
Rolk, you had one fucking job.
I was like, that's a nice shirt. He'll do fine.
he lost me at the shoes, man. Those things look like he's wearing pillows.
Yeah.
I was gonna
yeah,
say,
and
it
he's
looks
rocking
like
all
he's,
over the
like,
place.
rolling out of those shoes. They look crazy.
Yeah, so for all the people who are like, you don't need lifters to squat, they don't confer any benefit. You need to watch more people squat, especially in a variety of shoes. You will very easily, you know, if you can pretty quickly come to that decision that lifters actually are helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the good news for Rolk is he's squatting 105 kilograms pretty easily, but with not very good form. So I reckon.
So you need to get some lifters. I think your stance is fine, just with some lifters and keeping your knees out and sending your hips back a little bit more. You have a better time squatting.
Yeah, you're trying to drive your chest up out of the bottom.
Yeah,
So I'm assuming Chase was just going to say this. Like, you need to figure out how to confidently lean over and then confidently drive your hips out of the bottom rather than fighting for your chest. If you see a lot of plate spin backwards at the top and kind of a lot of railing forward and backwards, even if they have lifters on, that's normally an indicator to me that they're trying to drive with their chest and not with their hips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Agree.
All right. So what would you suggest he just get lifters and
get lifters,
lean over.
bend over more, get your hips back more, stay in your hips, drive your hips out of the hole.
Yep, you're well on your way to gender dysphoria. Don't worry, man. You'll get there soon enough.
Yeah, drop
Rock
the
also lower that rack height,
yeah.
man, too.
Yeah, he dinged it in there pretty hard at the end. All right, Rolk, thanks, man. Send us another video. Rasul. Oof, I don't know how he's not falling over. It's pretty amazing.
If you notice, every one of these squats gets a little bit higher. One thing you need to fix your gaze a little bit. In this case, you are looking straight down. You need to go ahead and get your head up and your spine into a neutral position and keep your head there, and then look out about 6 feet in front of you. Lock onto a spot there. You're also starting this squat by just pushing your hips back and then bending your knees. That needs to happen at the same time. What I like to tell people is drop your nuts and then sit back. So your knees need to get over your toes in the first about quarter of the squat, and then your hips do the rest of the work after that. You're moving this weight plenty good. If you fix those things, it'll move a little bit better, and you have to hit depth on every single squat. If it's a high squat, it doesn't count. So you need to hit depth. But I think with those cues, you'll have a better time hitting depth.
I think the stance is too wide for sure, if I had to bet. And then I'm not confident that you're wearing lifters either. I think the increased heel would definitely be helpful for you here. But ditto everything that Rusty said.
Yep.
Same.
All right, Rasul. Thanks for the video, man. Stephen Lusaint, bench press. Oh.
Nice.
I need to get
table saw action.
Yeah, man, I need to get me some of those.
Saw horses.
Yeah.
This is pretty heavy. How heavy is this? I think you said that in the email, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he's like, are these 320s and a 10?
That's 3 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, he said it was 360, 370.
Nice.
It's a big bench.
It was a very big bench.
So Steve, on these heavier weights, you'll notice that as the bar touches you, you're actually shifting down on the bench. Drive your feet not only on the way up, but on the way down too, to solidify your position on the bench and reinforce that arch.
Yeah, your feet are too far back for you to be able to do that successfully. Get your heel underneath your knee. That will allow you to drive back the entire time. As soon as you get a hold of the bar, you need to be driving back to help support yourself. That'll stop that rocking, like Chase said.
Now, one thing I've noticed is that, like in my garage gym, guys, is that like just perfectly flat lifters on a dusty concrete floor, you can't actually get that much purchase out of.
Yeah.
See if you can put like some carpet down there or some horse stall mat, something that you can kind of get some friction on, and then you move the feet out, and you'll notice like your leg drive actually feels connected to the bar.
Yeah.
I reckon, I don't know about these what are they called? Those safeties?
Saw horses.
Yep.
I don't know how good they are for bench. I sort of feel like there's a really big gap there where that bar could just end up on that guy's
Yeah,
head.
I would move the sawhorses back a touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we've got a couple of questions we've got a question from L. Is barefoot better than moon shoes if lifters aren't an option?
The fuck are moon shoes?
No,
She's talking about tennis shoes.
The fluffy running shoes, the bouncy pads.
I'm gonna start calling tennis shoes moon shoes.
your jamdals, Chase.
That's a hard one. Personally, I like support on my foot, but those shoes are just too unstable to squat in. I wouldn't want to be squatting over 400 barefooted. I wouldn't want to do that. But I don't know, guys. What do you guys think?
I think it's a better alternative. Well, also depends on how dirty your gym or wherever the fuck you are, right? Because if you're, in 24-hour or some nasty Globo gym, I'm getting protection on my feet because God knows what's on that platform. But if I'm at home, I'll probably do barefoot.
Teodor Marinovic, how do I shove my knees out more? I naturally have some positive camber, so a super narrow stance feels way better. Any tips?
It may not actually be a positive camber. It may just be the way the mass looks on your legs. So if you have wide hips and are just a chunky motherfucker and you aren't that lean, it could look like you have those, kind of like those fat guy knees that just pop in and then the calves come out. We all know what I'm talking about. But it could be that. It's pretty rare to see someone with bow legs nowadays. I don't think that's a super common thing. What do you guys think?
Try playing with your toe angle too. See if that'll help.
Yeah, I really don't have too much to add other than those two things.
Without a video, we can't really tell too much.
Yeah.
It's possible you were
it's
trying
hard.
to do it too much, and then the narrow stance that you're thinking you're taking is just the correct one.
Yeah.
Race Jacobson, I have a pair of lifter shoes, but they're the Sabo Goodlift shoes. They have a hard sole that doesn't compress, but it's a flat heel deadlift shoe. Is that a hindrance for the squat?
I think a hindrance is a strong word. I mean, I like a little bit of I like a heel on my shoe, but I mean, that's better than a tennis shoe for sure. I would rather squat in that.
Yep. Zach Tricas, why did Chase choose to specialize in the press?
Because fuck the bench. To be honest, I don't know. So I guess this is my own preference. Doing it for so long, I always kind of had this liking of it and of how hard it was, and seeing how everyone would always struggle, and kind of seeing, big name people press. You see World's Strongest Man, they're always doing a bunch of overhead movements. I was like, man, that sounds pretty cool to me. And then I was never really a good bencher, so I was like, let's just go ahead and just press.
Fair enough. Question from me to Alex. Why do you have a sheet over your couch? What have you been doing on it?
It is a couch
There it is.
cover.
There's that. There's that dirty mind again.
Is that where you're doing your naked posing routines and you didn't want to get
It's a
some
couch
baby
cover.
oil all over it?
I'm just very bad at putting couch covers on.
That's his OnlyFans couch.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that background kind of looked familiar. I just didn't know where it was.
It's the casting couch. Yeah, that's what it is. No. So we're still using loaner furniture for the most part, because we're still waiting on stuff to get here from America. So we have like this couch that a million other families have used. So we put a cover on it. But they're harder to put on than I assumed. So it's an ongoing project that we're working on.
All right. Stigsrud from last week. He was on last week. I think he was the guy with the skinny calves, my buddy.
And 60s look pretty dang good. Only thing that I probably see is, as you touch, get it back to the shoulders and back to the rack. Don't kind of mess around with how you drive up. Keep the elbows in as best you can. Squeeze your shoulder blades, and then straighten the wrist a little bit more. But other than
that, you're doing that. I cannot remember what that grip's called, where you actually push your fingers on top of the bar. Actually grab the bar.
Bulldog?
Yeah, Bulldog Grip. Thank you. He's doing a bulldog grip. Go ahead and grab the bar and squeeze the piss out of the bar. That will help you get your wrist in a little bit better position, because you don't want that bar end up rolling in the back of your hand and doing this crap. So go ahead and just grab the bar, squeeze it tight. Try and keep your knuckles up a little bit more. Other than that, these are pretty decent. It's a pretty decent bench. Your elbows are flaring out a little bit too quick. As you start driving up, they immediately jump underneath the bar. Kind of keep them ahead of the bar towards your feet a little bit more, so you can drive back to your shoulders a little bit better.
Yep. Anyone else got anything?
Absolutely not. I don't comment on bench presses. Only squats.
We need someone to send in an ab wheel form check.
Yeah, I want to see some crazy shit.
Why don't you send one of your ab wheel videos in, Chase? That'd get
I
the
don't
crowd.
have an ab wheel.
What's
I
that?
do like so there's a park where I live now, where I just moved. I need to do like the monkey bars, where I do like a pull up with each hand as I string across it, and just do like a weird.
You do that calisthenics bull crap.
Yeah,
Man.
chase the bar star, man.
I have a feeling you're probably going to
Hey,
bend
don't
those
don't shit
bars.
on the calisthenic stuff. It kept me sane for the 6 months I didn't have barbell access.
I mean, if that's your option, but those guys crack me up because they're super jacked, but you never see them in shorts. They're always wearing sweats, all the time.
Yeah, don't kiss and tell, man. You can't show the goods off.
You should go out there and do it in your jorts.
Yeah, man.
I'm not
And your
getting
jamdals,
anything.
Chase. That'll
Oh yeah.
yeah. Tenno steel.
Yeah, speed up the descent, widen your stance. Next video.
Yeah, these are pretty solid. Those are the only two things you need to fix. Other than that, these look pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
really
like
like
to
these.
see your grip a little bit narrower. I think your grip is kind of. It's
Yeah,
starting
he
to
is
get
doing
forward,
the
starting to
wrist over
slip.
the bar, the wrist
Yeah.
curl over the bar thing like this. So get your grip in a little bit tighter and get the heel of your palm kind of pushed into the bottom of the bar a little bit, because this stuff will give you bicep tendinitis, because that's what I do whenever I get under a heavy squat. So fix the wrist a little bit too.
Yep. All right, Tano. Too easy, buddy. Tim Erickson. Ooh.
It's like a mile away.
Yeah, this is an interesting video.
There's a bit of
So
weight
just
in
in
that bar,
chinos?
too. Yeah,
I love
he's
it.
wearing chinos, and I don't know what those shoes are. They're like,
Oh, those moccasins?
I think they might be. Do you want to go back and have a look?
Yeah, replay the beginning of this video.
Yeah, those are some
They
moccasins.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect, man.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
And chinos.
Never change.
Just needs a buckskin vest and some Woodstock glasses, and he's good to go.
Yeah.
He's got the hair going already.
He has a belt, but not the kind that we normally.
He kind of looks like Rusty from behind.
Ooh.
Rusty, is this you?
That's
Do you
fighting words.
do you
It is-
moonlight
it is
at a
me.
different gym?
Yes, I do. I mean, it's really hard to tell because you're so far away. But I think you need to get your chest up a little harder. It looks like you're kind of curled down. So think about pointing the bottom of your sternum up a little bit and squeezing the piss out of your upper back. That'll help you keep that bar a little more stable and get your elbows down a little bit. But from this angle, aside from your knees need to stay out on the way up, they don't look too bad.
Yeah, the back is really soft. I think a belt would help you here a lot. This guy's way too handsome to be Rusty. You've seen him on the way back.
They're actual
Oh,
boat.
what a-
They're
what a
actual.
hunk.
They're actual boat shoes.
No.
That's fantastic. Hey, and get some lifters,
Hopefully-
man.
No,
Hopefully
don't.
this guy does the living on the houseboat thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just comes into port to come and lift, and then he's
train.
back on the sea. But yeah, I just think the back is soft. So like Rusty was saying, squeeze the chest up harder. Fight for a lower back extension on the way down. You'll notice kind of a tighter rebound coming out of the hole.
He shift a little.
Yeah, that's because his back is soft
Yeah.
and his knees are caving in. So if he
Yeah,
if he
his
fixes
knees
his
are
back
part
and
of
keeps
the
his
worst
knees
thing.
out, everything else will be fine.
Race Jacobson if Grizzly Adams was a lifter. Okay, Tejo Affleck. How much should I deload after a 4-week surgery pause? Only getting started with starting strength, 165 squat, 190 deadlift.
What kind of surgery, my man? Did you get like an
Yeah,
arm
that's-
reattached or a new one added? It's totally different depending on
Yeah.
Be
what
transitioning.
happened. It could be yeah.
He started starting strength, did gender dysphoria. He got snipped.
Yep. So,
Yeah,
if he answers
say in
like
the
what he
comments
had
what kind of
surgery on,
surgery.
yeah.
oh, okay. Let us know.
Appendix.
Tejo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Appendix. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I would just take it down to run an LP again. I take it down to 135, see how that feels, and just keep adding weight. Go up 10 pounds until it starts feeling a little bit slow, and then when it feels slow, next time you get in there, just maybe do another 5-10 pounds. I mean, just run an LP right now. Start with 135 and see how it feels.
Yep.
Unless you guys think different.
Probably not.
No, he
no.
basically started from 0, so you can just go back to 0.
I think you'd be
That's a
all
really
right with
good point.
135 on the bar. Yeah, I think you'd be
Yeah.
all right
Which
with
is 0
135
for
on the bar.
Chase. That's
Yeah.
No.
The Chase counting scale starts at 0. First time one of his clients hits a 135 press, he's like, "Congratulations,
Yeah.
you've pressed 0 pounds."
you've been doing negative squats for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Probably no ab wheel Tejo, unfortunately. So
We'll get you there.
we'll get you there. Yep. All right. Undefined. Is this guy's name? This guy might be like a rap star or something.
A SoundCloud rapper? What do you mean?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, look at that Merc in the background there. He's balling, man.
These look really good if you ask me. The only thing is you're driving your chest out of the bottom. You need to drive your hips harder. You're treating these kind of like a high bar squat to where whenever you hit the bottom, you're just thinking, I need to get my chest up as hard as I can. You need a little more hip drive, and I think these would be a lot more solid. I think that 3rd or 4th rep, I actually did see some hip drive because it's feeling heavier and your body works better doing that. So stay in your hips, man.
Yep. Anyone else got anything?
Yeah, completely agree. I really like these.
Yeah.
Just stay in your hips for longer. I know it can seem a little bit counterintuitive once you're like, halfway out of the hole, but just stick with it. You'll notice it's a lot more consistent.
And I guarantee you he's looking either out or up. You need to look at the ground. That'll help you with your hip drive, because if you start cranking your head up and your gaze actually goes up, you're going to want to start pushing your chest up. So keep your nose down, okay?
Yep. All right, undefined. Nice socks. I like it. From a question from Hound, would there come a point where Chase's press was going through periods of focusing more on the bench to handle heavier weights for the upper body to be beneficial?
So I've thought about that. So whenever Larry Wheels first pressed, 400, 405, 425, I saw his bench, and his bench is like almost like 650 at that point. He benched at like 605 or so for a double, I think. So I thought maybe loading it from that standpoint may help. But I tried it, just didn't really work. And it's a little bit different because the press works both the anterior and the posterior musculature, whereas the bench is just more anterior. So it does help maybe if I get stuck in my layback, but I found that pin pressing works just the same, because I'm basically starting out in like an incline bench position and then working my posterior as I fully lock out at the top.
Okay. There you go, Hound. We'll go through all the videos that we're going to look at. We're actually running a bit early for once, so there you go.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's wild.
Do you want to take
We
a couple
blew through
more?
those.
What's that?
We blew through those.
Yeah.
Take a couple more if
yeah.
you want to. I have 10 more minutes, sure.
Oh, thanks, Alex.
I have the next appointment on the casting.
Let's
couch
all
real
do
quick,
with
so-
what Alex wants to
I know.
His next OnlyFans stream starts exactly.
Exactly. I mean, the setup is right. I can use the same camera.
That's right.
I don't even have to.
Where do you
move.
hold the mic at, though? That's where I'm curious.
do. Yeah, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
That's what this is for. It just,
Oh, man. That's why I said I didn't want to know.
Well, this video just became X-rated.
Wow. I'm just take these off.
So we actually have a question from L. With my bad shoulder mobility, do you think there's any benefit to dumbbell press instead of a barbell? Alex can attest my barbell form is horrifying. Can you now, Alex?
I disagree with that, L. I wouldn't say so. I don't think that adding in a dumbbell bench variety would be necessarily harmful outside of, just not being optimal. But I don't think it would have the solution of curing any sort of imbalance or fixing some sort of mobility issue or anything like that. I don't think the only argument would be like the range of motion would be disparate between the dumbbell bench and the bench, but I don't think it would be dramatic enough to solve any of your shoulder problems. I don't really think you have too many shoulder problems right now, so much as just how you're organizing yourself under the bar and probably programming with how you're presenting with pain.
Yeah, so I was getting real bad bicep and tricep tendinitis at the elbow joint, and I stopped benching, and I did only dumbbell benching for probably, 3 months, 2-3 months, something like that. That's all I was doing, and it cleared up. It had to do with the way I was holding the bar in the squat. I was curling my wrist over. But that would probably be the only time I'd really push a dumbbell bench and be like, okay, we're not going to do normal bench, we'll dumbbell bench if we're having to fix some pain issues or tendinitis issues. But I agree with Alex. I don't think you need to, I don't think it will benefit you in any way. I think you just need to fix that squat.
Yep.
And I've been having to deal with this a good bit recently with newer people not expecting there to be any sort of growing pains with lifting. Unless you are a very lucky person who has like a wide variety of athletic experience under your belt, you're going to run into pain somewhere. It could be your ankle, it could be your shoulder, it could be your elbow, it could be whatever. If I'm lifting, even if it's like just not super intense and the programming is on point, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, only like 2 things were in pain, that's great. That's excellent for me just considering my injury history. It's different for everybody, but you will almost 100% of the time run into growing pains when lifting.
Yep. Pinecone King. Have a SI facet issues for 4 years causing chronic pain. Plan to see chiro soon. At 5'9", squat in the low 300s. 5s are psychologically tough. 3s are more confident. Should I switch to advanced novice early?
If anything, I would try this, right? So you're probably grinding out that last set of 5 and it feels like death. Instead of doing that, just do a top set of 5 and then some back offs. Stay with 5, right? We like 5s. I'm sure you know why we like 5s. If not, go look at Brent Carter's video on YouTube. You need to stay with the 5s for as long as you can. Otherwise, you're going to have to now do more sets with the 3s or, jack up the intensity, which can then screw up your back. For example, if we did like a 3x3, I think you need to start doing a top set and some back offs and see how that feels. And do the back offs at like 90%, which that sounds relatively heavy, but after that heavy set of 5, they're going to feel a lot lighter.
How old are you if you're listening to this right now?
Yeah.
I want to know how old he is, because if he's a little bit older, then I don't think a 5x3 is 29. Okay, yeah, you still need to be sticking with 5s. Yeah, I would do my best to stick with 5s. I will caveat that with, if 5x3 is the only way you can get through a workout without pain and your form is good, then it might be appropriate, but that's going to be a very rare case.
I'm interested to see how you came to the conclusion that it's on a specific series of vertebrae and it's also the facet joints. Mm-hmm. That's very specific. So if you're just having like, multifactorial kind of non-specific generalized low back pain and you're correlating it with lifting, you can't be like, oh well, it's the facet, it's my left facet joint in between on my SI.
He had
like
an MRI
it's
done.
too
Apparently.
specific to recall. MRI.
Yeah, he
well,
said
that,
Yeah.
The thing is, what happened to it? Was there a break from an acute trauma? Like, do you have like an actual fracture, or are they just saying like, oh, all of your discs are kind of all over the place? If you have like a spondylolisthesis, that's a different scenario. But I don't think any practices outside of work and intensity ranges that you can handle slowly increase the weight or the reps over time. That's all what progress is. That doesn't change regardless of the fact if you have degenerative disc condition, if you do have a spondylolisthesis, if there's anything like that. You just have to keep working. Do you guys run into people who have like mental blocks with specific either weights or rep ranges a lot? Do you guys see that pretty frequently?
Definitely. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
one
right
client. Yeah, I have one client that they will psych themselves out and give up on reps, and because they start turning grindy, and that's all it is. If they get a little bit hard, it's just they shut down. There's one thing I was going to also suggest: look at your deadlift. So if you're having that low back issue, look at your deadlift and see what's going on with your low back in the deadlift, because I was getting lazy with my low back in the deadlift, and then my sciatica just went through the roof. So check out your deadlift. Make sure your hips are set back high and you have a nice tight low back. If you're lifting and you're getting that rounded lower back, that could be what's causing your back pain, and you're just really feeling it in your squats.
Okay. Why I adder? I struggle with squat bicep tendinitis. So the fix is breaking the wrist versus flat wrist and getting more palm underneath.
Yes. Yeah, if you're curling over the bar like this, like that, I have this problem whenever I get into super heavy grindy squats. As I'm coming up, I will start doing this, and then as I do this, I don't know I'm doing it, but I am trying to bend that bar around my back for whatever reason. And then next thing I know, whenever I get to my fourth rep, I'm like, fuck, my bicep is killing me. I got to go back down. I come back up. I rack it, and it feels like it's on fire, and that is why. And I know that's the reason why is because the moment I fixed it, my bicep tendinitis started going away. So look at your wrist position, and if you're curling over the bar and you're putting a lot of pressure down, it's gonna jack your elbows up.
Yep. MJDC, hi folks, I'm late today. Apologies if already addressed, but when will the updates to the app be ready? So he's talking about when are we going to get Advanced Novice and LP3 into the app, and soon, I think. We've just about got the first version ready for testing. So if you want to help us test it, MJDC, let us know, and we'll chuck you on the beta testers list. It'll actually be good to have some people who are actually using the app testing it. Speaking of MJDC, I reckon let's take a look at his video. I think I've got a video from him that he sent in. And there we go. He had a bunch of notes on this as well.
Yeah, he's been dealing with some shoulder problems and some elbow problems of his own. So,
yeah, I'll read while we're watching. I'll read what he said. He said, "Still trying to low bar. I found that my elbows hurt less if I don't grab the bar with my fingers, but just rest my fingertips on top of the bar, with the pads of my hands being the main point of contact. Here I'm also trying to implement Chase's advice to not let my knees go so far forward. With this set, the bar rolled up less than usual, but more so on reps 4 and 5.
You're not setting your butt back enough for sure. Your knees are going real forward. You're pretty toe heavy. You need to learn how to push your butt back and point your chest down.
yeah, I think you're on your toes at the top, so you feel like that's your only movement option when you go down. And a lot of people do this. They'll either be standing on their heels or standing on their toes, and it kind of, predicts where they're going to end up leaning. But try to make sure that you are rocking back just a tad. If you notice that everything's going too far forward, start the rep a little bit more on your heels, and you're going to have a better proclivity to stay straight up and down.
Yeah, I'd probably get your gaze down too. It's you're kind of battling still. I think the bar is still a little bit too high on your back for a low bar. Try to get it down just a little bit more, and then look down. That's going to help you do what Rusty's trying to tell you and Alex.
Yep. All right. Any other feedback for old MJDC? Is everyone just watching the girl in the background? Is that why no one's
That's
talking?
that's exactly what I was doing, Nick. How did you call me out on that?
You were trying to see. You were trying to look through the rack.
You
I was
guys
hoping
have
at some point
next-level
you'd step
peeping
away from
skills. I didn't even notice another human back there.
Yeah. I'm just lonely.
That dude's like pacing around. I don't understand what that dude in the background's doing. He's like pacing
Exactly
around,
what
just trying
Rusty's
to check out the
doing.
chicks.
Tell you what.
Exactly,
yeah, he's trying to act natural, but he's checking this girl out.
Yeah.
He's like, why did I wear gray
Like,
sweatpants
man.
today? No.
That's good.
Just please, for the love of God, squat already.
Yeah, she's going to. Let's have a look. Let's check out her squat as well.
Wow, how did y'all even see? It took me like a whole minute.
I said the same thing, Phoebe. I was doing my job as a true Christian coach.
I want to watch her squats.
Yeah, we are. We're
What's
going
she
to watch
doing?
one rep.
What's she doing?
Hopefully-
Get out of the way, man.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, her squats are horrible.
All the best. Yeah.
MJDC, tell her to send in a squat form check video.
Yeah,
And her phone number for Rusty. All right. MJDC said, sorry for obstructing the view.
Next time, get out of the way.
Tell her Rusty will fly to whatever city you're in to offer free coaching services.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well,
He's like, Rip, I need that vacation I was talking about.
Elle said, do you guys not know that grey sweatpants are the preferred outfit for girls? And Google it.
Oh, we know, but you don't want to get in a position where it's a little bit too noticeable.
Yeah, that did not hide much. I think we've got more video. I think we hopefully got Benny B, who was in the comments before and just emailed me. So let's see if I can find this. There we go. Benny B, I got you sorted, buddy. This is the last video for today.
Oh, I think I recognize this guy. He was on the Reddit talking about lower back setting on the deadlift.
Oh yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah, we'll see if there's some improvement here from the last one, Benny.
Oh.
All right, if that's any
Jason's
hint.
feedback is.
I'll go ahead and since I made the sound, I'll go ahead and help you out with this.
You broke the
Benny.
seal.
Yeah, I did. Benny, you're starting with your shins a little bit too close to the bar. Try not to roll the bar, adjust to the bar. So you're going to start with you don't have shoes, but the knot of your shoelace underneath the bar. So if you can imagine that on your socks, try to put that where it needs to be. Now to set your low back, you can hold it tight, but then as soon as you pull and the bar breaks off the floor, it loosens up. So you're going to have to shove your stomach right in between your legs and make it cramp, right? Almost treat it like it's concave. Make that concave stay in place as you're picking up the bar.
Yeah, you need to
Yeah,
feel
I
like you're
would-
overextending your back.
Yeah. I was just going to mention that. I would take the belt off. So the first deadlift set that I saw from him, probably like last week, I feel like, it was a lot worse than this. So we know that there's some forward progress in your ability to focus on your lower back. I would ditch some weight, ditch the belt, and then try and reevaluate. But like Chase was saying, you're setting up a little bit too close to the bar. You need to think about giving yourself more space to set up and making your spine kind of as straight and long as you can. But overall, these are an improvement. And like we talked about, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but sometimes the straps are playing with you. Just the extra time at the bottom, they can really screw up with the setup. I've noticed people who are doing straps, a lot of times they're just rolling it into them as they're doing it. So I would see when you do take the weight off, take the straps off too, and see if that changes anything.
Yeah, if you don't absolutely need those straps, don't use them. We want to train our grip too, so if you can hold on to that bar for a set of 5, don't use the straps.
All right, Benny. There you go, buddy. Couple more comments and questions from Cal L. Hey guys, how many grams of carbs would you suggest an adult male eat before a workout? Also, how much time before my workout should I be eating them? Been struggling with this for a while.
I think. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think you're kind of making it a bigger deal than it is. Just eat some food. Give yourself time to digest it a little bit before you get under a heavy squat. But I don't do any of my macro counting or anything like that. I just eat until I'm full, and then I do my workouts. So I'm sure Alex has a much.
If
more,
I had to bet, I think he's a morning guy. Because
Yeah.
the only people who ever ask this are morning people who are like, well,
Mhm.
I have to be in the gym at 4:30 in the morning after my cold shower and,
Yeah.
reciting some sort of anthem. But like the Jocko crew.
Yeah.
But so if you're waking up first thing in the morning, I would definitely suggest some pre-workout. But like in terms of carbs, it's really going to depend. If you're lifting every other day and you aren't doing strenuous physical activity outside of that, you don't need to think about it at all. If you are lifting 5 times a week and having sport practice on top of that, then you need to care about nutrient timing. But if you had the past 36 hours to get carbs back in your muscles and your liver, you don't need to think about it too much at all. But like I've been having to work out pretty early in the mornings recently. I'm just like taking just a few swigs of like applesauce and honey to the face and then pre-workout, and then I'm in the gym within like 20 minutes of waking up. So
Yeah, I like to eat before I like an actual meal, even if it's a small meal, because I can't eat big breakfasts, and I work out around 7 a.m. So I'll normally have a couple eggs, some oatmeal, about 30 minutes before I actually start lifting. Sometimes I'll eat some mash, some rice, potato, and meat for breakfast, and again 30 minutes before I work out. So unless you have very specific reasons, I think you shouldn't overthink it. Just eat some food and give yourself time to digest it.
Yep. Alex, what is the most annoying thing about the starting strength subreddit?
the entire thing. There's not a single part of it. No, I think a lot of people want to treat it like a general fitness sub, and then there's also, I would probably say at least at any given time, 10 people are on there who just actively hate starting strength. I do not know what about starting strength pulls these people out of the woodwork, but they're just like every post, they're like, yeah, go look at this other company, starting strength sucks. I don't know what it is.
It's probably people from the Exodus. Just they can't let it go.
no
Their life
idea,
is so
man.
much better without starting strength, but they can't let it go.
Well, I seem to think it's it's an official
Fucking
starting
assholes,
strength.
everyone.
They seem to think it's an
Chase,
official
I
starting
had a
strength
question
product.
about I had a question since you guys have like a physical gym. Do you guys ever get people who come in who just want to like actively shit talk starting strength and are like a little speculative?
Nope. We've never had anybody. Because
See,
too big
so
of
there's-
pussies to show up.
Exactly. That's the disparity. Chase nailed it right on the head.
Yeah, and like if there's someone who's kind of wanting to argue with us, they already have like the mindset of I just want to run instead of like, oh no, my programming is better than y'all's. Right? It's at the complete opposite end of the spectrum instead of actually pertaining to strength.
Yeah.
And on that note, we're done for another week. Thanks a lot, guys. Chase and Phoebe, where can people find you online?
Instagram, just Chase Lindley.
Phoebe.
Penelope, can you not put the mic in my mouth? What is wrong with you?
That's me. I'm doing that later. Don't take my thing.
We gotta get the crowd warmed up.
Oh, this is the wrong day to come on. Penelope7 is.
Are you
my
guys getting back
Instagram.
to posting training updates now that the meet's over?
Well, I mean, I need to, but I've been trying to transition to the Olympic lifts, and I suck ass at them, and I scream and I cuss, and I'm very
He gets worked up.
angry. So I don't want people to see that, but I need to post stuff. So I'll probably post this week, and y'all see how shitty I am about the Olympic lifts.
Post
Chase,
the
you
Wednesday
did-
bodybuilding work, man.
Chase,
Mine
you
is
did
Super Bowl
inspire me
anyway.
last week. I decided I'm going to start focusing on Olympic lifting again. So
Good.
since we
Yeah, I
deloaded
saw
my
your
squat,
videos and stuff.
yeah, so it's feeling pretty good for not doing it for a year and a half, 2 years.
Yep.
Good.
Alex, where can people find you to argue or challenge you to a or tell you how to
Push-up
put
contest?
the
If you
sofa?
can physically make it to Japan, I don't care. You can be 6'6", 300 pounds. If you can physically make it to Japan, I will fight you in the street. I don't care.
Meet me on the top of
don't
Mount
care.
Fuji at 9 a.m.
No, what's the gym called? The Biosphere or whatever that he's going to.
Oh yeah, we can go to the bio park and have a fight with the
right.
giraffes.
Kangaroos behind me.
But yeah, no, I would love to offer that to the people who want to argue with me about programming on the internet. But I'm not really on social media. It's not really my thing. But you can find a description in the below. I do online coaching, so if you're looking for a coach, hit me up. Mick, where can we find your OnlyFans, your lewd content at?
Not on OnlyFans, not anywhere. So, but Rusty, what's your Instagram handle for those?
It's rust_strength_training.
Bam. I actually know it
Soon
now.
to
off by
be
heart.
_SSC
I know, I figured it out
at
too.
the end.
Yeah, whenever I feel like I want to do it.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for watching and sending in videos. And we'll catch you all next week. See ya.
Later, y'all.
See you guys.